All right, so now that we are able to identify the components, how are we actually be able to use this to calculate the value of an expression? So again, we have to think about composition. If expressions are made up of terms and terms are made up of factors, then for us to find the value of an expression, we need to be able to find the value of all the terms in the expression. So one of the things we'll do, and just to get an idea of how to start this, we want to identify and keep track of the separate terms of the expression, calculate the value of each term in any order. Again, it doesn't matter what order you find these values, and then combine the term values together in any order again. So let's go through, and we already went through the I gotta try and get it up to this part. We want to calculate the value of the following expressions. So again, I'm just going to quickly go through the composition. So first of all, we're going to allow composition. We want to identify the separate terms and then the separate factors. So the second term has a factor of -2, and then it has a factor of 3 plus 5. So again, it makes sense. I need to find the value of every term. Well, the -7 has a value of -7. So that one's done. The term on the right has two factors, a -2 and then the 3 plus 5. I want to know the value of that factor. So I'm going to evaluate that factor. And then to get the value of the term, I'm going to multiply those factor values. So again, I want to know the factor values. First. And then once I have the factor values, I can evaluate the term, which is -16. Once I have my term values, now I can combine those values to get the value of the expression. So in this case, the value of the expression is -7 and -16 is -23. So once I get done with my term values, then I can combine to get the value of my expression. So let's try that again here. We're using, again, composition to keep track of our terms. So in this first, I have a term starting with the negative sign and then a +4. The square root of 4. So I have 3 terms. Now all I need to do is make sure I find the term value of each one of these. So the value of the first term is just 8. The value of the second term, well, this is the opposite of -10, and the opposite of -10 is a +10. So the term value would be +10. And then the square root of 4, the square root of 4 is a +2. So again, I want to know all my term values, and it doesn't matter the order in which I do that. So once I have my term values, I can start combining in any order I want. So when I start combining my terms, I don't want to be restricted from left to right. I want you to practice kind of looking for nice pairs to combine, nice numbers to combine. So combine, in an efficient order, right? You want to take advantage of this composition. So maybe for this one, I'm going to take the 8 and the +2, and that would give me +10. And then I have my other +10, and then 10 and 10 is 20. So the value of my expression is 20. So again, it should free us up into thinking about this. I'm going to come back to that note after I get this next one done. So it looks terribly hard. It looks like a lot more things going on here. But again, I allow composition. looking for the components. So again, in an expression, I'm looking for the separate terms first, plus or minus outside of grouping symbols. And again, we worked with this one already. The factors in each term, I have a -2 as a factor, and then the square root of 16. So I want factor values, right, in each term, because the factor values are what I'm going to use to find the value of that term. So as I go through the square root of 16 is 4. So I know that this term value is going to be -8. So every term is worked individually. So -7 has a term value of just -7. I'm just going to keep track of that. So the third term, I notice it has these two factors. I got a factor of 5. And then I have the absolute value of 9 and -3. So I can put these values together to get the factor value. 9 and -3 is 6. Well, the absolute value of 6 is 6. So once I have all my factor values, I can multiply and get my term value. This would be a positive 30. Again, -3 squared, we saw the factors as -3 times -3. So because of the parentheses and the squared, then the factor or the term value then would be -3 times -3, which is positive 9. So here's all my term values. And again, I worked left to right, but it doesn't matter where or what values you find and when, as long as you keep track of them. So here are my term values. Once I have all my term values, I'm ready to combine. So now I'm going to look, I'm not just going to combine left to right, I'm going to group in ways that make sense. So maybe I can take these negatives, they're both negative, so that would give me a -15. And then positive 30 and positive 9 together would be a positive 39. And then finally, the last two, -15 and positive 39, would be a positive 24. Would be my expression value. All right, so I want to go back and look at the note that I have up here. And in my second term, I had the opposite of this negative in front of the parentheses was like the opposite of and we could think of that as an operator. But we also could think of it as factors of a term. So the parentheses is a factor, so -10 would be a factor. But this negative sign in front, we could identify that as a factor of -1. If I took that as a factor of -1, do I get the same term value? And you notice the term value, whether you take the opposite of or whether you multiply by -1, it's the exact same thing. The term value is still positive 10, which is the same. So instead of thinking about the opposite of, we could just take terms that have a negative sign outside of parentheses, that opposite of, outside of grouping symbols, and treat it as a factor of -1. And that's what we'll do in the next video, is how do we identify those factors of -1.